Welcome to Honey Bee. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. Sometimes people's boldness has no limits, and at times, the person you once loved will try to pull you into a life that was never meant to be yours. My name is Connor, and this is the story of how my ex-girlfriend tried to pin another man's child on me, and how her friends turned into a mob harassing me when I refused to play along. I'm 20 years old, working as an IT project manager at a mid-sized tech firm in Austin, Texas. The job is steady, pays well, offers benefits, and gives me a healthy work-life balance. I've always tried to keep my life organized. A few years back, I was in what I thought was a committed relationship with Vanessa. She worked as a marketing coordinator at a consumer goods company, and we had been together for 2 years. We met through mutual friends, started off casually, and over time built what seemed like a solid relationship with a real future. We talked about kids, where we might live one day, our careers, and financial plans. She knew I was serious about her. I was even planning to propose within a year. At the time, I believed we were moving toward marriage, a home together, and eventually, a family. Looking back, I now realize I ignored red flags because I was focused only on the good. Vanessa was outgoing, friendly, and charming, and I trusted her completely. I never questioned her social life or the nights out, thinking independence was a healthy part of a relationship. The truth about her betrayal came from an unlikely person, her best friend. She and Vanessa had been close since college, and I'd gotten to know her through group outings and double dates. Unlike Vanessa, she was quiet, thoughtful, and kind to me. One evening, she showed up at my condo unannounced and asked to talk privately. With a heavy conscience, she told me something she had wrestled with for weeks. Vanessa had been seeing another man for at least 4 months, maybe longer. She had found out by accident, confronted Vanessa, and Vanessa admitted it, but claimed it was temporary, that she loved me, and planned to end it soon. But weeks passed, and nothing changed. Finally, her best friend chose to tell me the truth, even though she knew it would cost her their friendship. I was devastated but thankful for her honesty. I asked if she had proof, and she sent me screenshots of Vanessa's messages with this other man. They were explicit, there was no denying it. That night, I confronted Vanessa. At first, she denied everything, but once I showed her the screenshots, she admitted knowing him yet still tried to claim it wasn't an affair. I didn't shout or make a scene. I simply told her our relationship was over. I'd always made it clear that cheating was a deal breaker. I told her to leave and never step into my home again. She tried everything, crying, begging, promising to cut ties, but I was done. Trust, once shattered, can't be repaired. That weekend, she collected her things, and I felt relief knowing I had found out before we got more entangled. We had no shared property, no joint accounts, no legal ties. It was a clean break. I blocked her number, removed her from social media, and told mutual friends I didn't want updates about her. Some sided with her, but most respected my decision. Her best friend checked in a few times to see how I was doing and apologized again. I reassured her she had done the right thing. Despite rumors, she never pursued anything romantic with me, she simply remained a supportive friend. The months after the breakup were focused on healing. I poured myself into work, started hitting the gym, and reconnected with old friends. By the 5th month, I felt completely moved on and was even casually dating again. But my peace shattered one Tuesday evening. I was cooking dinner when an unknown number called. Normally, I ignore those, but I was waiting on a client call, so I answered. To my shock, it was Vanessa. My first instinct was to hang up, but her tone made me pause. She began apologizing and talking about how much she had changed, how therapy had helped, and how she regretted everything. I cut her off, told her I wasn't interested, and that I had moved on. That's when she revealed the real reason for calling. She said she was about 6 months pregnant and claimed the baby might be mine. According to her, we were still together around the time of conception, so I could be the father. I immediately told her that was impossible. I knew the timeline. We hadn't been intimate for weeks before breaking up. She'd been distant and avoiding me. The dates didn't add up in any way. She tried to argue, but I stood firm. I told her never to contact me again and blocked that number. Afterward, I felt angry but also unsettled. If she truly thought the baby was mine, why wait until 6 months into the pregnancy? That didn't add up either. I started looking into things quietly through mutual contacts and social media. That's when I learned the truth. Vanessa had gotten pregnant by her affair partner. When she told him, expecting support, he denied the baby was his, ghosted her, and even moved away. She was left alone, facing single motherhood. Desperate, she turned back to me. She knew I had a stable job, a good income, and that I was responsible. She thought if she created enough doubt, I might step in out of guilt. But I wasn't fooled. I documented everything, spoke with a lawyer friend, and confirmed I had no legal obligation. I assumed she'd give up after my rejection. I was wrong. 3 months later, I received a court summons. Vanessa had filed a paternity suit, claiming I was the father of her newborn and refusing support. I was stunned by her audacity. She knew the truth, yet lied under oath. I hired a family law attorney, who assured me a DNA test would clear everything. Sure enough, testing proved I wasn't the father. The judge dismissed her case and warned her about filing false claims. But even with the truth exposed, the stress had cost me thousands of dollars and months of anxiety. I thought it was over, but Vanessa didn't stop. Soon, I began receiving messages from new numbers, emotional pleas, guilt trips, and even baby photos, begging me to step in as a father figure even if not biological. I ignored them all. When that failed, she turned her friends against me. They flooded social media, accusing me of abandoning her and her baby. Some even tagged me directly, calling me a deadbeat. Most didn't even know the real story. They just believed her lies and attacked me publicly. At that point, I involved my attorney again. We sent cease and desist letters to Vanessa and her closest friends. Most of them backed off immediately when faced with legal consequences. Vanessa didn't. I filed harassment reports with the police and requested a restraining order. In court, she tried to act like she was just asking for help, but the evidence of her constant harassment was overwhelming. The judge granted a 3-year restraining order, finally ending the nightmare. The whole ordeal, from that first phone call to the restraining order, lasted about 10 months. It drained me financially, emotionally, and mentally. But it taught me hard lessons. Endings must be clean. Blocking her from the start saved me from more manipulation. Document everything: texts, calls, posts. Evidence is critical. Don't hesitate to seek legal protection once harassment escalates. Don't expect friends to be neutral. Many will blindly support their side. Most importantly, past relationships do not give anyone permanent claims on your life, money, or energy. Vanessa chose her path, cheating, lying, manipulating, and dragging me through court. The consequences are hers to bear, not mine. The restraining order expires next year. Hopefully, she's moved on, but if not, I'm prepared to protect myself again. If you're in a similar situation, remember this: you owe no one involvement in their chaos simply because you once cared about them. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're necessary. Protect your peace, defend your reputation, and don't let false guilt trap you into obligations that aren't yours. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stay out of someone else's storm, no matter how much noise they make trying to drag you in.